Greetings Swangolians and welcome back to Swango. This is the OG Bird and today we're going to be talking about mobile artillery. Very confusing but yet very powerful weapon, and I think you'll know how to use it a lot better after this little guide. But before we get into our mobile artillery, let's look over its options. Now when going to the mobile artillery, you can see my current loadout. I use the auto loader as my upgrade. And I'm currently using the proximity defense as its gadget. We'll see how long that lasts though. And then for my weapon, I'm using the anti-air missile. Now it comes with several other options and you probably recognize some of these. In the upgrade slot we have proximity scan, which will give out that pulse and let you know about infantry that are within your radius. Then there's maintenance, of course, which if you're not being an engineer class and can't repair your own vehicle, as long as it's not disabled, it will go ahead and repair itself fairly quickly. And then there's thermal camo. It's an anti-reflective coating on your vehicle, increases enemy locking and tracking difficulty, and decreases the time you are revealed to the enemy from being spotted. This is active while in any seat of the vehicle. This vehicle only has one seat, so you would have to use this to get the perk of the thermal camo. And then, of course, no upgrade. So I use the auto loader. All these are great. All these have their uses. They all just depend on your personal preference. In the gadget slot, there's IR smoke, which is always great. We've gone over how we love IR smoke. Then there's zoom optics. Now, zoom optics, it's basically useless unless you're using the weapon tow missile. If you're using the tow missile, that might come in handy if you're having trouble getting those long-range tow missile shots. However, for everything else, it's worthless. So right now I'm using the proximity defense, which gives off a burst of smoke and incendiary devices which kill all enemy troops within the radius. However, right now the radius is very small, maybe too small. And so I'm going to use it for a little while longer before I make my final decision, but I might be going back to IR smoke within the near future. Then we have the weapons. Now there are several weapons to choose from. First, you get the ACMS, which is basically your guided shell, like on your MBT, on your main battle tank. It acts exactly like the guided shell. Then we have the anti-air missile, which I currently use. Now, this has got a lot of range, guys. That is why I use it. Its range is ridiculous, and they're probably going to nerf it in the future. So use it while you can. It is a beast. A beast. Then we have the airburst missile. And I will show you. No, I'm not going to show you. I'm not going to take that away from you. You guys try it out for yourselves. But it's basically only good against infantry. And what it does is it explodes just above the ground and does massive amounts of damage to infantry in the area. It really does. If you can get it near infantry, you're going to kill people. But you only get 2 of them. And they take a while to reload. So I've tried them out. They're okay. I'm sorry, but the anti-air missiles are where it's at for me. And then you have the tow missile. Now the tow missile is the same as the tow missiles that you unlock on the tanks, or the ones that are the static emplacements throughout all the different various maps that have tow missiles placed on them. It's the same thing. The big cross, you fire it, and then you guide it onto your target, and it's a wire-guided shell. It's very, very destructive. But it doesn't really help for this vehicle, for me, because if I use it correctly and stay on the perimeter of the battle and not bring it in like a tank, because it's not a tank, then there's no need for the tow missile. Now, back to the board. We set up the board here with a couple of targets. And so we're going to go ahead and spawn in Russian deployment, and we're going to go and find our mobile artillery vehicle. And here it is. This beauty, this big fat thing, which is virtually the same thing if you're on the US side. It's just a little bit bulkier, I guess, in the back part. But they're virtually the same, so there's really no distinct difference between the two. Like I stated, this is not a tank, so try not to use it like a tank. It's not for that. If you use it for that purpose, you're probably not going to get the best results. What you want to do is use this on the perimeter of the battle. You're kind of like the sniper class of the vehicles. You stay out outside of the battle and you're shooting in, and you just keep moving. This is a good spot that I found. It's a flat spot, fairly flat. I've got cover with this dune berm right here, and I can reach quite a bit. Now, on flat ground, if you're shooting from flat ground to flat ground, this thing's minimum distance is 75 meters. Now, if we click the A button, we'll go into the gunner's seat, and you can see this ridiculous crosshair that really doesn't give us really any information at all. And the information that it does give us, it just doesn't give us quite enough. I think this thing needs to be quite a bit larger, and I think they're going to have to add in the same kind of map that you get when you deploy your mortars. Now, before I fire my first shot, I always go up as high as I possibly can and see what my range is. So I'm going to shoot at Charlie here, which I can see from the numbers that it's 611 meters away, so we might not hit it, but let's find out. So we'll fire one out, and the way that I find out if I hit it or not is I hit the start button, and I'm looking at Charlie, and I can see the impact. Boom, there it is. Do you see that? Now I know I hit Charlie, and I actually have room to bring it back just a little bit and just bomb the hell out of Charlie. And then I just hit the start button and watch on my mini-map for those impacts. Boom, 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 boom. Yeah, there they are, all over Charlie. That's right. That is the secret. That is the trick to using this weapon, is to actually hitting the start button and finding out where they're getting deployed at. Now, from that spot, that's pretty far. I've got my own Charlie covered. If it starts getting stolen, I can start bombarding it, which means that I can also hit Bravo, Delta, and Echo. Now, Echo is about halfway down the tick, so it's the third one down from the very top. The very top one, the bold top part, the T part, is your starting point. So if you're going minimum, you're pointing all the way down. That's where it's going to go. That's where it's going to hit. That's where it's going to lob to. And if it can make it without hitting any obstacles, like this mountain right here, see, it's hitting this mountain on its way down because they arch, it can go 75 meters. And if you go all the way up and can get some love, then like you saw over here, I was hitting over 611 meters with that one. So with this, I'm going about the third one down. So after the T, 1, 2, 3, right in the middle here. And we'll put it right on the bottom of the diamond. And we'll go ahead and just throw a couple out there. Hit the start button and look at Echo and find out where they're falling. They're falling right on it. And I've still got room to spare. So I can still go up a little bit higher. And boom, 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 boom. Oh, look, you see that? I even took out the quad that was on Echo. So that is A plus right there. So let's try this. Now let's try going all the way up. Just bring it down just a little bit on Charlie, and we're just going to do a spread from Charlie to Bravo to Delta. And we'll just do like that, and then we'll just see what kind of splash damage and how dialed in we actually have this. B, C, B, all over B, B, and where the tank's at. Nice. So, almost maxed out here. Not even. I can still go a little bit further, but if I just leave it here now, I've got them dialed in. I've got Delta, Bravo, and Charlie already dialed in and easy to hit. Look at that. Just boom, 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 boom. So that is the basic trick to this, is finding a good spot, getting it dialed in, and just continue to bombard at the proper times. When with autoloader on, I can watch where my impacts are, and while that's happening, it's already reloading, and by the time the impacts are done, even at its farthest, we'll go way past Charlie here, and we'll hit start, and we can listen. Now it's done reloading. I can already go back, and it's full. Now, if I hit the Y button, we're going to go ahead and switch to the anti-air. Now this thing has got some range. The gunship is pretty high up and pretty far out, but you can get choppers and jets at 600 meters. That's from here to Charlie. You can lock onto these guys and keep the lock, and the distance is just ridiculous, and the damage is very nice. I believe it takes 6 rockets from this to take down the gunship. So basically that's the trick, guys. It's a sloppy weapon, but you can see those impacts. They're hitting the right spot, so I know I'm dialed in. Anyhow, that is it for the mobile artillery. This is the OG Bird signing out of Swango. Don't forget to subscribe and like the video and share it amongst your friends. And it wouldn't be Swango without your obligatory explosion, so here it is. Have a nice weekend.
I spotted a hostile helicopter in your AO. Over.